This is Adrian Hart with your Southeast Colorado news on seconews.org. On Friday, August 22nd, the Pueblo County Sheriff's Office, Colorado Bureau of Investigation, and other public officials hosted a press conference with Colorado Governor Jared Polis to address the recent incident at Davis Mortuary in Pueblo, Colorado. The complete press conference video follows.
Check. Ready? Good afternoon. Thank you all for coming today. I'm Gail Perez, the Public Information Officer for the Pueblo County Sheriff's Office. We are here today to provide some updates to the ongoing situation involving the Davis Mortuary. We will have several speakers to address different aspects of this evolving situation. There will be time for a few questions at the end, so hold your questions till the end of the presentations. We also have several of our Pueblo City and County officials present today, including Pueblo County Commissioners Miles Lucero and Paula McFeeters, and our Mayor, Heather Graham. We are also honored today to have Governor Jared Polis with us to say a few words. Governor?
Thank you. I was, of course, scheduled to be in Pueblo today and was hoping that we would just be having fun at the State Fair. And I, of course, will be attending the State Fair. And I just came from there where we celebrate our Centennial Farms and Ranches. But you never know when duty will call and our state, working with our county, working with the city, needs to step up and take action. And that's exactly what happened here. I did an executive order this morning that I'm going to be updating you on. And of course, the state is here to stand in solidarity with Pueblo County on two accounts. One is to make sure there's a thorough and complete investigation and that any violators of the law are brought to justice. We have Armando Saldate from the Colorado Bureau of Investigations with us here today. I would add that this is his first week on the job. But he has a lot of experience working with Denver and other jurisdictions and investigations, and I know that we can add value to the work of the Pueblo Sheriff's Office as well. And we are also here to make sure that everything we can do to support the continuity of services for Pueblo residents who suffer a loss in these coming days and weeks. With the executive order that I issued today, we stood up our state emergency operations plan, authorizing actions that are requested and that are needed. We moved some funds, $300,000 initially from the State Emergency Reserve cash to DEF. We authorized the Director of the Office of Emergency Services to allocate the funding. And of course, we support, stand by, and encourage Pueblo County officials and the Pueblo County Deputy Coroner to seek assistance from other counties. The state is in full support of that approach, and I want to express appreciation for the work in Fremont County and other counties that we hope are able to meet Pueblo County's needs in this difficult time. And I want to thank all of the people who do this work as coroners in the investigations. This can't be easy, and I think for most of us who are speaking today, even those who have seen some tough stuff, this will rank among some of the most difficult work that they do. And I want to thank our first responders and those on the front lines and those who will bear personal testimony and accountability for any of the crimes that were committed. I want to thank Sheriff Lucero, CBI Director Armando Saldate, DORA Director Patty Salazar, her team, county commissioners. We have two of them with us today, city and local leaders. We've been in very close contact over the last 36 hours and will continue to work in close partnership to get through this, to get through a successful investigation, and to make sure that we have continuity of services and do everything we can to provide those services and continue them here in Pueblo County. We understand the Deputy Coroner did deputize the Fremont Coroner last night, was looking to potentially deputize El Paso this morning. They responded to and have handled several new deaths overnight. It's important to know that on a regular day, there's usually a few people that pass away in Pueblo County. That's normal work. They need death certificates. They need to be certified. It's important for the families. It's important for the funerals. It's important for the estates. On rare occasions, it's important for a criminal investigation. But it is very important work that they do in what is often the darkest and most difficult hour for the families that have suffered that loss. And I really want to thank Fremont and El Paso County for stepping up and helping. This morning, I called for Pueblo County Coroner to resign immediately and, of course, urged that any crimes are fully investigated and, of course, prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. We as a state will continue to stand by Pueblo County and provide robust and strong support for Pueblo County during this challenging time. Truly, our hearts across the state of Colorado are with Pueblo County residents, particularly those who might have a loved one of undetermined fate with regard to the remains. With that, I will turn it over to Sheriff Lucero.
Thank you, Governor. Good afternoon. David Lucero, Pueblo County Sheriff. Our hearts go out to all of those impacted by this event. This affects not only our city and county, but our entire state. We remain committed to ensuring that the trust of this community stays strong. I want to provide an update on the current operations of the Pueblo County Coroner's Office and the employment status of Coroner Brian Cotter. To ensure continuity of services, the El Paso County and Fremont County Coroner's Offices have assumed responsibility for the day-to-day operations of the Pueblo County Coroner's Office. They are also handling all coroner duties related to the crime scene at the Davis Mortuary. Moving forward, the public will see these personnel operating in an official capacity here in Pueblo County. All are deputized and will carry credentials identifying who they are. I also want to address the status of Coroner Brian Cotter. Earlier today, Governor Jared Polis requested that Mr. Cotter resign immediately following the inspection conducted by the Colorado Department of Regulatory Agencies on Wednesday, August 20th. As the Pueblo County Sheriff, I also believe it's important for Mr. Cotter to resign, given the impact this event has caused, and to ensure continuity within the coroner's office. At this time, Mr. Cotter has not resigned. I think it's important to understand that none of the county elected officials, nor the governor, have the statutory authority to remove the coroner. Additionally, the governor has declared a disaster emergency. This action mobilizes state resources to respond to this incident and to protect public health and safety. I want to thank Governor Polis for granting this emergency status, ensuring our community receives the resources that we need, and for calling for accountability and leadership during this crisis. I also want to thank El Paso County Coroner Dr. Emily Russell Kinsley and Fremont County Coroner Randy Keller for stepping in and supporting our operations during this critical time. Dr. Emily Russell Kinsley was appointed coroner of El Paso County effective January 1, 2025, and she brings extensive experience as a forensic pathologist and former Deputy Chief Medical Examiner of El Paso County. Fremont County Coroner Randy Keller continues to serve Fremont County and has been instrumental in assisting with the Davis Mortuary processing plan. As the emergency manager, I have been in contact with the Mayor's Office, the Board of County Commissioners, and the Governor's Office, and I cannot thank them and their staff enough for their support as we navigate this incident together. I want to reassure the public that the operations of the Coroner's Office will not be interrupted. With the support from El Paso and Fremont counties and the emergency declaration that's in place, we will continue providing the services that Pueblo County residents expect and, more importantly, they deserve. We ask for continued patience and understanding during this difficult time. Thank you. I'd now like to turn it over to Deputy Chief Martin from the Pueblo Police Department for some comments.
Thank you, Sheriff Lucero. Our hearts are with all those affected by this incident and remain with the Pueblo community. The Pueblo Police Department is committed to continuing to assist the Colorado Bureau of Investigation, in this case, in any way necessary. We remain steadfast in seeking the justice these individuals and their loved ones deserve and are grateful for the support of the Governor and area agencies. Our officers have been in contact with Brian Cotter and his brother Chris. They are not considered a flight risk at this time. The current status of charges will be covered next by Pueblo County District Attorney Gail Perez. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm Gail Perez. I'm the district attorney here. The ultimate goal in this investigation is to serve proper justice to the victims and families of this horrific situation. As we explained in yesterday's press conference, this is going to be a slow and thorough investigation. Real life is not like TV shows where crimes are investigated, solved, and convicted by a jury in 60 minutes. It's a frustratingly long process, but it's necessary. Charges cannot be filed until the investigation is complete. I want to stress that we only have one chance at prosecution, and we want to do it right. I'm sure that most of you have heard of the term double jeopardy. That's why we need to do it right the first time. In a criminal case, each element of each charge must be proven beyond a reasonable doubt. That means thoroughly documented and collected evidence that can then be properly admitted into court. That means search warrants, interviews, physical evidence, documentation, and all of the other evidence that will be located during those search warrants and throughout the process. Once an arrest is made in any criminal case, a legal time clock begins. There are timeframes that are triggered by an arrest in which charges would then have to be filed. Any person arrested and in custody for a felony can then assert their right to a preliminary hearing. If we do not have all of the evidence that we need secured for that preliminary hearing, then we cannot succeed and the case stops right there. There are legal rules, laws, and constitutional requirements that we must follow. We are committed to a thorough and professional investigation. Multiple agencies, as you've heard, are working tirelessly 24/7 together in this investigation. And we thank all of the agencies here behind us working in conjunction together for this. Once it is completed, I then will review all of the evidence and file any criminal charges that the evidence reveals. As frustrating as it may be, this is a slow process, or that we cannot divulge all of the details that people are wanting. We are committed to doing it right, to protect the integrity of the investigation and any charges that come out of it. It is the groundwork of our law enforcement partners that build a strong case to take to court. And we cannot have a successful prosecution without this thorough investigation. So we do ask for continued patience through this difficult time. At this time, I'll turn it over to CBI Director Armando Saldate.
Thank you, District Attorney. Thank you all for being here today. I'm Armando Saldate, the CBI Director. I'm here to provide the update on the ongoing investigation in this Davis Mortuary investigative efforts. To remind you from the information I provided you yesterday, when we initially received this information 2 days ago from Department of Regulatory Affairs Executive Director Patty Salazar and her Division Director Sam Delmar, I immediately started reaching out, and CBI started reaching out to authorities here, our partners here with the Pueblo Police Department and Pueblo County Sheriff's Office. When we came yesterday, we were asked formally to take the lead on this investigation. But while we are a lead, I want to stress the importance of the relationships between us and the support that we've not only been able to provide from the state, but the partnership and support that our county partners with Pinal County Sheriffs and the Pueblo Police Department have provided. It's going to be paramount, and their continued support will be needed throughout the investigation. And also, we have our partners at the Federal Bureau of Investigation who are advising and are also providing assistance as we investigate. This is a complex and sensitive situation, and I want to thank the community for its patience and cooperation. Our primary investigative focus right now is a two-pronged approach. A very thorough criminal investigation, as the DA talked about, and the respectful identification of the deceased, our victims. This is, as you can imagine, it's a very long and methodical process. I want to thank our coroners, our Fremont coroner and our El Paso coroner, who have answered the call to help and are working hand in hand with us yesterday, spending a long time with us, advising us on next steps and also those lessons learned that we learned from the return to nature. Our initial assessment, and let me set some expectations here. This isn't just one time we're going in the building and doing our search warrant and our crime scene. This is going to be a multi-day effort. but our initial assessment is that there are at least 20 bodies found inside the funeral home. We're still in the process of that meticulous room-by-room search with crews, and you'll see them in hazmat gear and the appropriate layer of personal protective equipment so that they can conduct the work safely, to handle all evidence that we are collecting. We hope to have a final confirmed numbers sometime this weekend of the number of victims. Please understand, that may take some time, and having a final confirmed number is going to, really take the partnership that we'll have with our coroners as they go through the identification process. That remains our priority, is the identification process, and I want to be clear that this is very lengthy. We're talking about an effort that could take many months. The state of some of the remains and the need for scientific confirmation, such as DNA analysis, means we must be thorough and deliberate to ensure accuracy. We don't want to give you, we want to make sure that we're giving you the right information as we conduct this analysis of the remains. We're grateful for the support of our partner agencies that are assisting in all levels in the tasks that are identifying our deceased victims. We have, as I stated, we have our El Paso and Fremont County coroners that are on site. They will be leading and helping the identification process. And as was talked about by the sheriff and DA, they're advising us on the process, and we've been working since late yesterday through the night and today, making sure that process is solid. Since we began this investigation, we've received close to 500 calls by my last update to the tip line that I provided to you all. Most of those were calls. I had also given you an email. That is on the back. That's on the screens as you see it. Also, there's a new addition to the information. There is a QR code. This is something that we worked on today to get this up and running. As victims advocates, victim specialists are reaching out to families and loved ones that are calling into us, we are asking for some information that will help us in identifying our victims. This will expedite that process. If you or a loved one have called or are waiting for a call back, if you could get on this QR code, that will help. That will take you to a secure site where it can help you fill out that form, get it into the system. That's also a multi-step process. That's going to help our investigators. Our investigators will be sharing that information with our coroner to help with identification. And then we will be getting back to you. We are getting our teams prepared, like I said, with victim specialists and victim advocates that can start reaching out to folks. But as you can imagine, in less than 24 hours, we've had over 500 calls. Continue to call. Please continue to provide us that information. I'll also have this on CBI's website. So if you don't get the chance to copy that today, and we'll provide copies of it to the press as well. We know that families are desperately seeking information to streamline the process for those who believe the loved ones may be among the deceased. We have created this dedicated system. Regarding the criminal investigations, I do want to set a clear expectation for you all, and I think you've heard it in kind of what the messages I've talked to you about and what we've shared. This is going to be a long and complex case. We have a lot of forensic evidence to process and a great deal of information to sort through from the public in our initial findings. Additionally, once we take all our human remains and victims out of these places, we're going to have to go in and get records. A lot of the records and paper and all the things that we're going to have to go through. So that is going to take some time, and so we ask that for your patience. Due to the nature of the alleged crimes, it may be a considerable amount of time before any formal charges are determined. We are committed to a full and complete investigation to ensure we have a solid case. I want to assure the community that we're working tirelessly on this investigation. We'll continue to provide as much updates and new information as we can, but in a manner that does not jeopardize the ongoing investigation. So, thank you all, and I think we're ready for questions.
Just, I understand that El Paso and Fremont are taking over for now, but in the long term, if Mr. Cotter fails to resign, are there any plans to appoint an official acting Pueblo County coroner?
You know, it's very early on. We're in communication with Mr. Carter, and we don't know what his intentions are. I think the fact that the governor called for his resignation, I too feel that it's appropriate. Only the days will tell. There's not a system in place right now that allows for the removal of an elected official, elected county official. We can't remove them. The Board of County Commissioners can't remove them, and neither can the governor. We're going to work with legislators to see what the process might look like in the future, but we're navigating this day by day, and we've taken those appropriate steps to ensure that our partners with El Paso County and Fremont County are operating in a manner that is consistent with state statute.
And are the deputy coroners, I'm not sure how many deputy coroners are in the office here locally, are they continuing to work? I just want some clarification because I believe the governor said that the deputy coroner had deputized El Paso and Fremont. Just trying to get the exact layout of the leadership here.
So they are still employed. They're working in a very limited capacity right now, as we navigate this to assess any knowledge that they might have if they're witnesses to this, which is again why we want to take those proper steps to ensure transparency and make sure that our partners with El Paso and Fremont County assume those roles with that extra set of eyes, and that they're navigating any new decedents that happen in Pueblo County, as well as being the point for the Davis Mortuary scene processing.
And are most of those deputy coroners part-time here? What does that look like?
It's a mix, I guess. So I'm not sure exactly what the numbers are. I think we're talking of a staff of about 8.
I'm not sure. Sorry, I'm not sure if you guys are able to elaborate on this, but if you can, could you just elaborate on what exactly qualifies as a flight risk and why Brian Cotter and his brother Chris are not considered flight risks at this time?
Sure, Jim, you want to take that one?
Yes, so a flight risk is somebody that we would consider being able to leave the state or the community, who has the necessary means and access to funds and other, instruments to get out of the community. Currently, they are not a flight risk. Like I said, we've been in contact with them. Due to the ongoing investigation, I can't release some information about that, but we're confident they are not a flight risk and will stay in the community.
I have a question for Governor Polis. Governor, this was found during a routine inspection that was part of some of the new legislation you signed in May of last year. The scene, I guess, the effectiveness, right? This was their first mandatory inspection. Does that lead you to push for more regulation in the funeral home industry here in Colorado?
Yeah, well, frankly, I'm really thrilled that the legislature passed and I signed this work that empowers DORA to do these kinds of inspections. This likely would have been discovered someday, but there could have been more victims had it not been discovered as early as it was. So the fact that we're now doing those inspections is relatively new because of course, challenges that we've had in the past with tragic events. And now that we have that in place, really, frankly, that shows that this is working and we're identifying these types of events, we hope, very rare, but earlier and able to take action earlier, which is what's occurring with the collaboration between Pueblo County, City of Pueblo, the state, CBI here now.
Are you going to be looking at more funding for DORA to continue to do more of these?
We'll make sure they have the resources they need to make sure that every Coloradan knows that when they contract for services, whether it's burial, whether it's cremation, that the remains are dealt with in an appropriate way, a respectful way, and that everybody gets what they are entitled to with their contract with the mortuary.
Another piece of legislation that changed was qualifications to run for coroner, and I know the sheriff mentioned looking at legislative changes as we're in this position now of who ultimately serves as coroner when private business is under investigation. Governor, do you see an opportunity? Is this time to discuss overhauling, electing coroners, how we have coroners in Colorado?
You know, I don't have a strong opinion on that one way or the other. Where I do have a strong opinion, and I think, frankly, we can agree needs to be reformed after this, is the way that you remove a coroner from office that is subject to a criminal investigation, unable to do their job. Currently, there is a petition and recall process, costly, time-wise, money-wise. There needs to be some way where, in conjunction, the commissioners, the state, the governor, can act when needed to make sure that you have continuity of services for a very basic function that people rely on during life events.
But you don't have an opinion on, say, if the state should move to a medical examiner model?
No, look, I mean, there are states that have professional coroners, there are states that have elected. I don't know if that's the brunt of the issue here. There's plenty of time to discuss that, but there's two key things that need to occur here. One is a thorough investigation of any crimes committed with accountability to the families and to the public. The second is continuity of services for Pueblo County residents experiencing loss. So those are the two things we're focused on right now. We are open to a broad variety of ways to make sure that other counties don't face the same situation that Pueblo County is facing right now.
We have time for one more question.
Yeah, insofar as inspections, it's mentioned that this was the first annual routine inspection. So prior to that, did the mortuary just not have any inspections going on, or what did that look like?
Yeah, prior to this new bill, it was a largely unregulated field. And I think that we've all learned a lot over the past few years that, unfortunately, in any line of business, you know, whether it's banking, whether it's retail, whether it's insurance, there's always going to be people that seek to take advantage of other people. And that is no different in the mortuary business. I would add that almost everybody that works in the mortuary business is hardworking, honest, just like in most professions, good Coloradans. But just like any other field, there's going to be a few bad seeds. And we need to make sure we have the systems in place through Department of Regulatory Affairs that we now do to make sure that that in these, nobody takes advantage of people during their darkest hours.
Thank you. We do not have another press conference scheduled at this time, but when we do, if we do, we will post it on our social media. There'll be news briefs that will go out to let you know of that. Thank you.